What's up, everybody? Jared here with another movie ranking, and with the anticipation of the LEGO Movie 2 and the fact that I already reviewed it, check it out up there, I'm going to rank all 4 theatrical released LEGO movies. LEGO Movie 1, LEGO Batman, LEGO Ninjago, and the LEGO Movie 2. But before I get into my ranking, let me know what your guys' ranking is of these 4 movies in the comments down below. I'm curious if your number 1 is going to be the same as my number 1. Now, without further ado, let's get into number 4.
Everything is awesome.
Hitting at the number 4 spot is unfortunately the property that I'm not really too familiar with, and that's LEGO Ninjago. Nothing against it, it's just something that, it didn't really click with me. It was a fun movie, but the property, it's probably catered more towards little kids because that's what's kind of popular. I think that there's a TV show, but that property just didn't click with me. Plus this simple plot that we've kind of seen in other movies, it's this father-son relationship with the father is this evil warlord. A kid wants the approval from his father. They eventually get together, take on a bigger threat. I mean, it's a very digestible, easy plot. Unfortunately, we didn't get that much background on these characters to really be invested in this relationship. But I will say that the voice cast in Ninjago is fantastic. I mean, Dave Franco, Jackie Chan, Olivia Munn, Justin Theroux. I mean, it goes on and on. All of these LEGO movies, they do get a really great voice cast, and this is on brand with, all of the other movies in this 4 LEGO theatrical releases. And another thing that really hits in this movie is the humor, the jokes, the gags. I remember there was one part where a dude is dressed as a crab. He has a crab gun that's shooting crabs, that's going crabs. That is the ridiculous, over-the-top LEGO humor that I'm used to in these movies, so the humor is there in this movie. Nothing against this movie, it just isn't a property that I'm familiar with. It's funny, it's got good stuff, but it just unfortunately hits the number 4 spot for me.
Everything is awesome.
Hitting at the number 3 spot is unfortunately the latest in this LEGO franchise, and that's the LEGO Movie, the second part. Personally, I would have named it the second piece because of LEGO pieces, but hey, what are you gonna do? Anyways, yeah, this movie did have some big shoes to kind of fill. Unfortunately, it misses the mark for me. Don't get me wrong, this is a hilarious setup where it's post-apocalyptic, Mad Max style, these cars, it's gruesome, it's post-apocalyptic, and also the brand of humor is on point with all of the other movies in this franchise. Side note, who would have ever thought that Bruce Willis would have had one of the funniest spots in this movie? And this sequel awesomely packs in one of the catchy songs ever, cleverly named Catchy Song. In my opinion, it rivals Everything is Awesome. But with the third act sort of being drawn out, it's very confusing. You don't know who's good, who's bad, who these characters are even. I mean, it's a kid's movie, so you can maybe let that slide, but it's a very convoluted final act. Also, I wasn't really a big fan of Tiffany Haddish's character. Is she good? Is she bad? She's singing the whole movie. Ugh.
Everything is awesome.
These next 2 were so close in my opinion, but unfortunately, I'm going to go with the OG, the original LEGO Movie, hitting at the number 2 spot. Honestly, when this movie was first announced, I was very skeptical. I mean, I was a huge fan of Legos. I have tons of Legos. I played with those all the time as a kid. I remember going to this movie with a date or double date, I'm not entirely sure, but we were cracking up, we were smiling, we were having a good time. I was digging Everything is Awesome.
Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Everything is awesome.
Because everything is awesome in this movie, from the setup of all of these different characters, the master builders, all of the different IPs that the LEGO company was able to get into this movie, just kind of one-liners from Gandalf, the Justice League, a bunch of different characters, plus the voice cast that did all of these characters. I mean, we got the main ones with Chris Pratt, Elizabeth Banks, Will Ferrell. Again, this hits with all of the LEGO movies, getting some great talent for these voices, great humor, there's lots of laughs, there's some really good music. And I also like how they kind of take a plot from a certain movie and kind of combine it. This is kind of a stretch, but it feels like a little bit like The Matrix because everything is awesome is just a cover. I don't know, whatever. That's getting into a whole different thing. But also the kind of the final message between, a son and his father, and not letting him play with his Legos. Like, it was very, again, a simple plot, but it really had a nice and meaningful, emotional message at the end of it all.
Everything is awesome.
And lastly, hitting at the number 1 spot is none other than the Dark Knight himself, the Lego Batman movie. I was blown away by this movie, from the opening act of all of the different villains from Batman's rogues gallery, and like all of the different vehicles, all of the different characters, a lot of bright lights, Batman just doing his thing, music, him singing these really dark songs. Like, this movie might be one of the best Batman, not even Lego movies, but one of the best Batman movies we've ever gotten. And the reason that this is such a good Batman movie is because the writers and directors, Lord and Miller, they really know this Batman character in and out from his early days, referencing shark spray and all of the different Batmans, Val Kilmer, Adam West, George Clooney, and then poking fun at all of those different things through the movies and pop culture. Like, this movie is such a great Lego movie. It has humor that's catering for kids and adults, and really references and pokes fun at, basically the backstory of Batman, how he lost his parents, how he's this lonely, dark soul. Again, the humor is here, just poking fun at Alfred, Batman, all of the villains, just a little tiny funny things that's really good. And then the message, the end message, is another one that I think this might be the best message of these 4 different movies to kind of take away from this movie. So that is it, my ranking of the 4 theatrical release Lego movies. I'm curious, what is your ranking? Let me know in the comments below, and I'm curious how your ranking compares with my ranking. Let's talk about it. Anyways, guys, as always, thank you for watching. Follow all of my social media stuff down there. There's more videos over there. Watch those, like those. Subscribe down to my channel over there if you haven't. And until next time, I'll see you later.